Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We have discussed three types of pollination on the basis of pollinating agents, that is anemophily, wind pollination, hydrophily, water pollination, and entomophily, that is insect pollination. Now we will take up the fourth type, that is ornithophily, or what we call as bird pollination. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma by the agency of birds is called ornithophily. By the agency of birds is called ornithophily, and such flowers as ornithophilous flowers. And the pollination which takes place by the agency of birds with the help of birds, or in which the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma takes place with the help of birds, it is called ornithophily, and such flowers are known as ornithophilous flowers. Now these ornithophilous flowers, they are characterized by the following features. Number first, the flowers are usually large and funnel shaped. Flowers are usually large and funnel shaped. And first characteristic feature of these flowers are that they are usually large and funnel shaped. Number second is the flowers are usually brightly colored like entomophilous flowers. These are also brightly colored, such as red, yellow, orange, blue, etc., which attract birds from long distances. And the flowers are so brightly colored that they attract birds from large distances. Number third feature is the flowers produce abundant nectar. Any ornithophilous flowers are characterized by the presence of abundant nectar. They produce abundant nectar, which becomes an attractant for the birds because they like this nectar. Number fourth feature is, or we can say, now we will take up the examples. The common bird pollinators are sunbird, crow, bulbul, parrot, etc. The common bird pollinators are sunbird, crow, bulbul, parrot, etc. This is all about ornithophily, and the pollination by the agency of birds is called ornithophily, and such flowers are known as ornithophilous flowers. The ornithophilous flowers are characterized by the following features. Number first, flowers are usually large and funnel shaped. Number second, flowers are brightly colored, that is red, yellow, orange, blue, etc., which attract insects from long distances. Flowers produce large amount of abundant nectar, and some of the common examples of bird pollinators are sunbird, hummingbird, crow, bulbul, parrot, etc. Number fifth type is, that is cheripterophilly. This is also known as bat pollination. And what we can say, the pollination by the agency of bats is called cheripterophilly, or we can say the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma by the agency of bats is known as cheripterophilly, and such flowers are known as cheripterophilous flowers. Now these flowers, that is cheripterophilly flowers, they are characterized by the following features. Number first, flowers are dull colored with fruity odor. And flowers are not brightly colored but dull colored, but with fruity odor. And they produce a smell which is fruity odor, and which becomes an attractant for bats. And the flowers are dull colored with fruity odor. Number second feature is the flowers produce plenty of nectar and pollen grains. Flowers produce plenty of nectar and pollen grains. And these are the two important features of these cheripterophilly flowers. And bad pollinated flowers. Flowers are dull colored with fruity odor. Number second, flowers produce plenty of nectar and pollen grains. Now some of the common bad pollinated flowers are Adenicia pinnata, Durio, etc. These are some common plants which are pollinated by bats. Now sixth type, that is Malacophilly, which is also known as snail pollination. The pollination by the agency of snails, or the pollination in which the transfer of pollen grains takes place from anther to the stigma by the agency of snails or with the help of snails, it is called Malacophilly, and such flowers are known as Malacophilous flowers. And this Malacophilly, it is the characteristic of plants like arum and Arsimia are two important plants in which pollination takes place with the help of snails. Number seventh is, that is Myremecophilly. This is also known as ant pollination. And the pollination which takes place by the agency of ants, it is called Myremecophilly. And one important example is, that is acacia. Acacia is the example in which pollination takes place by the agency of ants, and the ants take part in the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma, or from male flower to the female flower, from male plant to the female plant. This is all about the types of pollination in flowering plants on the basis of the agency which takes part in pollination. This is all for today. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.